stop. Right now, in this exact moment, someone out there is winning an argument against you, and you're not even in the room. They're replaying your words in their head, twisting them, using your own emotions as weapons against you. And the worst part? You handed them that power willingly. But what if I told you that 3 simple questions could reverse everything? That you could walk into any heated conversation and emerge not just undefeated, but unshaken. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change the way you communicate forever. You know that sensation when you're gradually losing yourself, fragment by fragment, right in the midst of a dialogue? It's not that your reasoning has failed you, nor that your ability to articulate has vanished, but rather that you've permitted another person's emotional state to hijack your own. You attempt to clarify your position, yet with each word, you sense your strength draining away. It feels like positioning yourself at the eye of a tempest, where every response you offer only intensifies the chaos around you. Remaining quiet feels like swallowing fire. Speaking out seems to drag you deeper into disorder, and right there, you experience defeat. Not in the exchange of ideas itself, but in the internal conflict raging within you. The ancient Stoic philosophers grasped this reality profoundly. Marcus Aurelius penned these words: "When another person causes you pain, recognize that you permitted it. Your tranquility cannot be stolen unless you surrender it willingly." So today, we're going to recapture that authority, not by crafting more cutting remarks, but by developing keener perception, not by dominating others, but by achieving command over ourselves. And we'll accomplish this using merely 3 questions. Straightforward, composed, yet remarkably effective. Question 1. Force the conversation to restart. Envision this scenario: a discussion that's careening toward chaos. Their vocal pitch elevates, their respiration accelerates, their gaze fixes on you with intensity, almost like a dare. And somewhere in your core, you understand that uttering even a single additional word will cause you to lose your center. This is precisely when you initiate a reset. Similar to when your device becomes unresponsive, you don't continue frantically clicking, hoping for spontaneous recovery. You press and hold the power control, shut everything down, and initiate a fresh start. Within dialogue, that restart mechanism takes the form of a question. A carefully chosen, thoughtful question that slices through the turbulence. Are you opposed to us conversing peacefully? Is it excessive for me to request that we maintain respectful speech? Would you object if we suspended this exchange and resumed after we've both regained our composure? These phrases may sound gentle, but understand this clearly. This is psychological leverage at its finest. The human mind possesses a peculiar automatic response. It gravitates toward refusing nearly everything presented in negative phrasing, like a young person who receives a directive and immediately responds with defiance. Mature individuals exhibit the same tendency. They've simply become more sophisticated at concealing it. Therefore, when you pose the question, "Are you opposed to peaceful dialogue?" their automatic response becomes negative. And within that seemingly insignificant refusal, the dynamic shifts back in your favor. To say no requires them to halt, contemplate, and mentally process. And that interruption, that minuscule break in momentum, is precisely where the emotional tempest begins to dissipate. Marcus Aurelius expressed it beautifully. Between trigger and reaction, there exists an interval, and within that interval resides your liberation. When you ask, "Are you opposed to this?" you manufacture that interval. You compel the exchange to take a breath. You allow rationality and opportunity to enter the space. You're no longer being carried away by the tide. You've rediscovered your stability. It's a brief instant, but its significance is immeasurable. Within that instant, you inhale, and through that inhalation, you reclaim command. And here's the beautiful contradiction. Victory isn't necessary. You simply need to decelerate. Deceleration itself becomes the victory, because individuals lose their self-control when they accelerate through emotion. But the Stoic practitioner moves in the contrary direction. They decelerate to achieve self-mastery. Question 2. Did you really mean to do that? There are instances when individuals don't merely elevate their volume. They aim for your emotional vulnerabilities. A pointed comment, a veiled criticism that penetrates more profoundly than its surface suggests. A dismissive expression they assume escaped your notice. But you caught it. This is when the second question emerges, the one that compels them to confront their own actions. Did you intend to wound me with those words? Did you intend to cause me embarrassment? Did you intend to diminish me? Those 3 words, did you intend, illuminate their motivation directly. No raised voices, no accusations, simply one inquiry. And suddenly they hesitate. They reflect, they observe themselves. This represents one of the most fundamental principles of human exchange, the identical wisdom Seneca articulated centuries ago. The person of wisdom doesn't respond through anger, but through lucidity. When you present this question, you're not attempting to manipulate them. You're achieving mastery over yourself. You're selecting awareness instead of reaction, deliberate response instead of emotional impulse. Mental health professionals term it reflective confrontation. You're not engaging in combat, you're presenting a reflection. When you ask, "Did you intend to make me feel diminished?" You're not prosecuting, you're inviting introspection. And in that moment, the illumination of consciousness breaks through. Even if they refuse to acknowledge it, their thinking becomes uncertain. Even if they maintain silence, something within them has transformed. This is how the Stoic communicates. They don't assault, they reflect back. They don't debate to establish correctness. They remain composed and allow reality to emerge naturally. Question 3. Are we standing on equal ground? This is the inquiry you present when someone attempts to dominate you through their manner of speaking, their position, or their perceived authority to subordinate you. Ask it with tranquility, with steadiness, without trepidation. Are we engaging in this exchange as equals? I simply want to confirm we're moving in the same direction together. Are we positioned side by side in this discussion, or is there a hierarchy at play? These questions convey the concept of equilibrium, of parity. They quietly present a reflection and cause the other individual to recognize they've been positioning themselves above you. And when they take even a small step backward, the dynamic between you recalibrates. The strain evaporates. The foundation becomes level once more. This manner of communication doesn't make demands, doesn't initiate attacks, doesn't shame. It elevates your position, because only an individual who genuinely governs their emotional state can communicate with such balanced power. And ultimately, authentic strength resides in silence. The Stoic philosophers maintained that silence represents the ultimate expression of wisdom, because the silence of someone who has achieved mastery isn't escape. It's a deliberate selection, the selection not to react automatically. When you sense a discussion extending beyond acceptable limits, declare, "I'll come back when I've regained my calm. I'm not prepared for this exchange at this moment. I require some time for reflection before we proceed." That isn't fleeing, It's exercising command over yourself to cease engagement. The person who cannot govern their emotions responds immediately. The person who has mastered themselves pauses, observes, and responds with purposeful intention. This is why, in military operations, before executing a decisive action, the most skilled operator is the one who comprehends when not to act. And the identical principle applies in conversation. Genuine strength doesn't originate from forceful language, but from forceful self-restraint. A dispute doesn't require a victor and a defeated party. Sometimes the authentic triumph belongs to whoever maintains composure until the conclusion. Seneca once articulated, "No one possesses the ability to anger you unless you grant permission. Each time you surrender your temper, you execute an invisible agreement, transferring the command of your emotional state to another person. But if you halt, breathe, and simply ask, 'Are you opposed to us conversing peacefully?' You don't merely recapture control of the dialogue, you reclaim sovereignty over your inner world. Ultimately, there exist 3 methods to recapture control in any conversation. First, pose the intelligent negative, a question that causes the other individual to stop and self-correct. Are you opposed to peaceful dialogue? Second, question their motivation, a mirror that compels them to witness their own conduct. Did you intend to make me feel insignificant? And third, practice intentional silence. Generate space. Allow the disturbance to subside until your equilibrium returns, and with it, your authority. Conclusion. In the world around us, countless people adore the act of speaking, but remarkably few comprehend when to embrace silence. Everyone desires to triumph in a disagreement, but only a select few grasp that the genuine victory is self-mastery. When you develop proficiency with these 3 questions, you're not merely enhancing your communication abilities, you're conditioning your discipline, you're constructing emotional resilience, the type that no external force can extract from you, because every conversation represents a test, a subtle test of one thing: how immovable your internal peace genuinely is. Keep this in mind. You cannot dictate what others articulate, but you can dictate when you articulate. You cannot compel anyone to listen, but you can perpetually choose when to embrace silence. And each time you select wisdom over reaction, you advance one step closer to that Stoic liberation, what Marcus Aurelius identified as freedom through self-governance. So maintain your calm, preserve your position, and allow your silence to communicate more powerfully than any words could. If this message strikes a chord with you, press like to signal the algorithm that it should reach additional composed minds. Subscribe not for additional noise, but for additional moments of insight, fortitude, and tranquility. And if you're genuinely prepared to initiate this practice, leave a comment below. Just one sentence: I choose calm over chaos.